Yeah, Scott Bricker with Travel Oregon. So there's been a fair amount of conversation about trying to get youth or diversity, grow the market, and you mentioned we talked a little about NICA. Do you have any thoughts on trends of what people might be looking at, sort of the next thing? My concern is if we're trying to have these road rides, but we're trying to bring people in that may not be interested in specific pieces. You mentioned you're riding less on the road because of traffic. Are there specific trends that might be useful for us to consider if we're trying to attract more youth or a different type of population?
I mean, and I say this as somebody that is thinking about doing events, and so I look at these. I forget the name of it is a mountain bike event, but he does the Whiskey 50. It's called Epic Events. Does the 24 hours of whatever. Does an event in Grand Junction. It is Ragbrai meets Lollapalooza meets Burning Man meets. I mean, it's an entire package, and I used some of sounds like a fun time when you combine all those, but there's pros there and there's amateurs, there's races and there's participation, there's music, there's food. It's held in one central venue, which again for a road event sometimes is hard. But I think that total package would be, and again, I don't know how hard that is to pull off, but I would be looking to mimic something like what Epic is doing. I think that, and you see, right? You see via the participation, via the numbers, via the revenue, that's working for him. And if he wanted to go find if he wanted to do that event in Asheville, North Carolina, or in Florida, it would work there too. People would go do that. And so, I don't know, I think this idea that, like I said, when I grew up with the Hotter Than Hell 100, you showed up, you did the ride, and you left. And then the next stage of that or phase was like an expo. So you had an expo the day before, and then you had the ride. But I think it goes even farther. I think it goes to music and to food and to a party. Call it a party, call it a festival, whatever you call it. I think that not just includes the rider, but because let's not, nobody shows up to these rides by themselves. Normally, they bring their loved one or they bring their family. And in the old days, these people would just sit around and go, "This kind of sucks."